Okay, they
Terrorblade.
go much
Oh,
later. This is
it is a nice pick though. They don't have supports that can kill illusions. They don't have heroes that can. They have obviously the Razor that can maybe pepper them down. But as soon as you have Manta plus the BKB, this TB is going to be extremely scary. And it's what the Drow does well. Drow sits
10
back, pumps out
seconds
damage.
remaining.
TB does exactly the same. But
mhm.
TB fell off a little bit due to the amount of
5
aggression we're
seconds
seeing in this
remaining.
patch. But when you have an Omni Knight, a tree, these quite defensive heroes, you can enable this Terrorblade really well.
Yeah, it's actually it felt like it was more to do with the kind of ramp up, right? We were seeing all these neutral items drop. We were seeing a need to be present more often, and then people like, oh, illusion hero is going to be broken, and PL Naga, yes, but TB he felt like the weaker of the three because he has this inherent cooldown built in that you have to play around, right? Like you're very strong at one
Mhm.
point, and then you're at the other. It's the same
A
reason
little
we
bit.
don't see DK as much or DP as much anymore.
I
Is these big ults you have to
do
play around?
I do hope Cyber Legacy potentially ban out maybe the Leshrac or any of these kind of active kind of heroes because I feel this Razor having a good lane and then having this ability to take high ground with the Leshrac and you've got the Oracle to enable it. TB might not even have enough time to farm up the jungle
10
and to find his
seconds
place in the
remaining.
game. So
Yeah.
I think Leshrac might be the
5
necessary ban here.
seconds
I
remaining.
do also love the fact that they banned out the Viper because
Fire
I
team
was thinking it's like someone on that lines on the
Or
mid would have been a
Huskar, of
nice bridge
course,
factor.
yes.
And yeah, Huskar's
Complete.
gone.
I can. Oh, the oversight as well. So the reasoning behind the Huskar ban is Huskar, of course, with his Q. Not gonna lie, I can't remember the name of it right now.
In a fire.
Um, in a fire. Sure, I'm gonna roll with that. In a fire, he clears illusions out really easily at this early stages of the game. So
10
again, it's
seconds
an illusion
remaining.
clear and combos with the Oracle. So same as the as what the
5
Leshrac would have done.
seconds
But
remaining.
Mhm. There's a potent disarm factor as well against the illusion army. They're just
mhm.
all going to get disarmed, and there's nothing you can do to fix that. So it's a fair ban, and also that removes any of these kind of like potential top cheese picks, right? Like the Meepo's gone already, the Brood's gone, and now the Husker as well. So you're not going to get one of those kind of ridiculous over the
the
top snowball heroes.
the interesting thing Cyber Legacy could do here is pick a hero that might force the Razor to side lane, but I think that might be counterintuitive because you don't really want the Omni to lane that. So I think just picking a hero that might be slightly less advantageous so that they might bait the Razor to go middle
Mhm.
and yeah, just play out that lane. I think forZe when they see this Terrorblade, they're gonna be inclined to want to pick either super active carry or a carry that can also scale against the TB. So, for example, like a Morphling safe lane,
Mm.
the classic, you can come the TB, you get the Metamorphosis. There's not a lot of kill potential on Cyber Legacy in terms of hard lockdown to kill the Morphling. So I think, yeah,
Could we maybe like is mag potential for Cyber Legacy? Because like you have the skewer to get away from the static links, right? Is what I'm maybe
yeah,
thinking here.
it could work pretty well. Gives you some team fight, but there's the Rubik in the game, so it's kind
Still
of
the
awkward. But
yeah, I think the bigger thing is like stealing
that's
the
never really
empower
a
as much,
deterrent,
right?
though.
Team pick.
No, but they
Yeah,
go for
that's
the
never
puck.
really a true. Oh yes, completely forgot that this majestic hero was still in the game. They needed some wave clear. They needed some team fight. So yeah, Puck does that, and now it can easily lane mid against a Razor. So if fours decide to put the Razor mid, Puck can have a good time.
Yeah, I was sitting here thinking like, could they go for a co-op? But then you're like, oh, there's a Doom in the game. Whereas
10
Puck, while
seconds
you are once
remaining.
again a squishy elusive hero that can get caught by Doom, it's much harder, right?
Fire
There's not
Yeah,
really these
team
the
cast points
reason.
to worry about.
Yeah, the issue with a quad pick would just simply be you force the Razor potentially to the side lane into the Omni, so then you ruin your Omni's game.
Mhm.
Ideally, you want to allow the Razor to be mid and then let fours just pick up a carry so that your Omni can have a game. So that pick would kind of be extremely counterintuitive.
Yeah, I was just looking for someone that would actually give them pace, and Puck still meets that
Yes,
criteria.
for sure, for sure, for sure. hmm
And there's some cute plays if you get that hyper late game scenario with the TB, right? Because you can eventually you maybe just get a synthesized ags and that fear. We
Well, they go for the
oh they go
Magus.
for the mag.
Okay,
All right. I think that in some ways they were hoping Cyber Legacy would, because like you mentioned the Rubik for the steals the RP, but also just in power being stolen, right? And
so it
then
is just going to be a Razor safe lane.
yeah,
I don't mind this for the idea that you can just really punish this Omni Knight, but my only concern is when Thors finish their laning phase, they heavily rely on this Razor to be kind of like, of course, you've got the big physical damage and control of Magnus, but you've got a Razor carry against a TB. And TB is like the boy. He gets his Manta, he punishes you. He takes your towers, he can unlock Roshan quite easily, and then after that, he scales into such an incredible late game core. Fours don't have that core that's like really scary late game. So if fours can find a way to get onto the TB, then they're in a good spot. But you've got an Omni Knight, you've got this tree, you've got a puck. Even if you get onto the TB, it's gonna be quite hard to kill him because you've got so many other defensive heroes in the game to keep this TB alive.
Yeah, that's the thing I'm looking at here is right. Like when you get down to it, it's how the fight's going to play out, who's going to split what. Like this puck is especially a big factor at keeping the back line busy, and that means really your only save here on fours is Oracle and puck. Every time Pikachu's likely to just go straight for Van Score in these fights, whereas Cyber Legacy, you got Bignum on the
You
Omni
mean
Knight, you've got Diorara with the tree in it as
Pikachu
well.
just goes forward, he doesn't look back, he just goes in, and then he's like,
Yeah,
I'm dead,
he's
lad,
like,
sorry."
he's just like, guys, you okay at the back there? Yep, okay, yep. And then like, no, Pikachu, you're the one at the back right now. Yeah, guys, I'm just going deeper. I'm gonna find those supports right now. And that's pretty much his job done. Terrablow will just be in the main fight. You'll see this Razor being like, well, I've stolen 200 damage just dying to illusions at the 40-minute mark. It's worrying. You definitely see a scenario where, because of their draft, not Cyber Legacy, Falls rather, have put themselves kind of on the clock with this Razor. In
Yeah, a
fairness, though,
little
they
bit
can
so.
scale fairly well, though. Like as
Well, yeah,
in terms of like farming, they get quite a lot of
that's the
gold
thing.
early.
Magnus does do so much damage with his right click. So they have the ability to burst, but the issue is simply the Magnus will do his damage during his RP,
Hmm.
and then that's about it. So the Razor, he's gonna have to have a really good lane and then set the tempo for the game so that the mag can find these RPs. If you then miss a couple RPs or you RP too defensively on your side of the map, get the kills and can't turn that into an objective, then you're going to feel a little bit awkward because you know that every time you make a move, TB's going to be farming. And you know that this Bat Rider, all the heroes will be playing in front of this TB, allowing him to farm up this jungle. So it's how quickly can forZe take away the dire jungle? How quickly can they turn an RP into an objective move? And I think it's going to be quite a hard focus on the Razor's lane, and then it's the post laning phase. What is the moves made? What are the moves made?
Hmm. And I think something we actually didn't highlight too much here is the fact that this Omni Knight will be played in the support role, right? So they just completely sat that idea.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
because that's what I was.
Yes, of course. Yeah, yeah,
He
yeah.
also got the sweet D Ward top already, so he's already given a
But
little
it
bit of advantage in that lane.
but it still doesn't really
It doesn't change what they do with their
it
lineup.
doesn't change anything
It just means that the
realistically.
Bat Rider is going to be able to be active early on alongside the puck, right? So if anything, Cyber Legacy's kind of like mid-game pick-off potential is a lot higher now. Does mean, however, if you get in those late-game fights, Bignum it's an easier target to pick off to start the fights, right? An Omni Knight support who doesn't really have any gold versus these Omni frees that have one or two big items by the 20-minute mark.
This Razor will have a much harder time though, because with the tree and the Bat Rider bottom, the Razor doesn't have as much potential to really punish anyone.
Hmm. And obviously, the way you play Batter on lane now, you don't even give him a chance to sap damage. It's all about the flame break as opposed to the old builds of Firefly.
And yeah, they have flexed this Omni to support, but what's the Omni gonna do to enable the TB when you're against for the first at least wave or two against this aggressive dual lane? It's gonna be kind of awkward where TB's gonna farm, but you got a Rubik peppering you. You got this Doom. Eventually, when he has points in his scorched earth, I feel like this Omni might not be able to contribute enough for his TB. He might have to force the TB to jungle quite early on.
Yeah, it's back and forth in the volatility, right? Because when you have the Metamorphosis up, Doom can't really do anything. Scorched Earth has a big cooldown. I think the thing that I could see Sub Legacy imagining here is like, look, Terrorblade is very comfortable going to the jungle at an early point. We'll kind of create Omni Knight as an additional core because we know that TB by level 4 is incredibly
Yep,
comfortable just jungling.
that is the other benefit of the TB.
Yeah, it's kind of it reminds me of Lycan in that way, right? Lycan used to be that hero. It's like, okay, I'm level 4, level 5. You two supports take the lane. Now it's just TB gets the even if he's level 2, we've seen it as early as I think Niche used to do that a lot for Secret. Is if he got forced out at 2, immediately in the jungle and he catches up within 10 minutes.
Hmm. The beauty of unlocking the jungle in your draft.
Pretty dirty hero. All that juicy armor. And being an illusion based one on top of it. Oh, and it seems we have some weird connection issues. Nice. Reset that scene. Don't worry, guys. I'll hammer into the TOs and be like, what's going up? All right, you're ruining
I
our
have to
prime
refresh as
Dota.
well, by the way.
Yeah. All right, I think we're good.
Give me a second.
You can just see supports mirroring each other's movements. Just no forced aggression either side, whether it's Doom or Terrorblade. They're just being left alone to their own devices, really. All in all, though, the mid lane, that's exactly what Pikachu needs. He finds the DD, which, when you look at the CS right now, it couldn't come at a better time. He's already a few CS behind. The denies are slightly in Magnus's favor as well.
Yeah, Magnus just such a solid laner at the start. You get that power. You have a ludicrous amount of damage. Get the Quelling Blade as well. You'd be clubbing the creeps, but DD just brings it back to a nice balance.
And Puck's one of those heroes, once you have 2 null talismans, there's not really a way of stopping you from getting your farm as well.
Pushing out every lane, for sure. The only difference is Puck can't really move to the jungle that well, but Mag can, so... Puck's going to have to look for rotations, whilst the Mag's going to look for farming efficiency through farming jungle camps and lane.
Exactly, that's the big difference. Like that, Puck wants to leverage the build up from the mid lane to the outer lanes, whereas Mag wants someone to stay in the mid lane that he can RP and kill. Terrorblade so far hasn't really suffered. 13-4 to the 8-0 Doom. They haven't actually really put any serious pressure onto him yet, and he already has a level advantage.
The issue with his top lane was the Doom actually aggroed with the first creep wave away due to the meta from Terrorblade. So then he basically prevented himself from being present for about 1 to 2 waves because, of course, he like played off of one single wave. This meant that TB just got level advantage because he had no pressure. So I think a little bit of an awkward play at the start. Just because I think they respected this meta a little bit too much.
It's the fact that it's just so much physical damage when you're a Doom, right? That's always your fears. You're a zero armor hero. And you can already see it there, right? TB, he knows there's no play to be made, so you just use meta every time it's off cooldown instead. 19 team, being pressured a little bit, but Chappie needs to back up.
In terms of the Doom, though, you can offset this by just simply having...
First blood?
Just buy some rings of protections. There we go. That's what you expect from
ring
this
of
lane.
protection. Not even boots, and they're able to get the
that's what he needs. So now he's got these items. He doesn't care about this TB in reality. He's just going to keep devouring the wave, and this is where he gets pressure. And this is the issue with the Omni Knight. What does he truly do? He's going to be able to pull the lane, but he doesn't stop the damage coming out. He can't really tank, because if he just walks up, it's not like he's going to do any trading, is he? He's an Omni Knight.
Yeah, it's very much an XP greedy type hero, and also now that you don't have the GPM talent, it feels even clunkier in the support role. You're going to have to expect your TB to rotate jungle very soon. Bot lane, Darara does go down as they chase him away. And Chappie, we're not seeing the aggression we were expecting out of the side of Cyberlegs in this bot lane.
Well, when you have the Oracle down here with the Purge, you don't really care about the Batrider, so...
No, and while the tree can still find some relevance with the grasps, it's just one element of your lineup that works at that stage.
So far... Good laning setup from forZe.
Nice little yoink from Bignum there to get the rune at least.
So much insane impact from this Omni Knight. So far has provided 1 bounty rune in 5 minutes of gameplay.
He got a D-Ward as well, okay? Let's not discredit him.
I don't know. I'm just personally not a fan of Omni Knight support.
No. It's more like a crap, this doesn't work in our draft. Throw it to the 5 roll. Yeah, and ever since they lost the GPM talent, it's like, okay, now what do you do? Question mark. Very big question mark.
Pull on repeat.
Like I said, the only thing he can do is hope that TB is done with the lane soon and he can have it to himself. But even then, you could easily die against these 2 heroes.
You truly don't. You can't push out the lane, so you can't even confidently play up here.
Tarara.
And that's
rinse and repeat.
Yep. Oracle just purges off the stacks onto the Razor, and then obviously it has the disarm as well, which is magic immunity. So Batrider just hard countered by this Oracle pick.
Yeah, Chappie might have a bottle, but every time you go for it, you're using all this mana, you're getting nothing out of it, really. It's just Oracle, as you said, completely counts it. So the pressure is really on Pikachu to start doing something soon for his team. And in fairness, he is doing pretty well when you look at the mid lane, right? Like, Mag only just hit the 2k barrier, and Puck is quick on the way towards the 3k barrier.
The main issue I think I see here is the Puck, even when he wants to make rotations, which is kind of built into what Puck does, he's going to move top into an Omni Knight TB lane.
What if you're being rotated on?
Ooh, then
no, not quite.
Barely gets the last bit of the orb, gets to travel to it. But like he doesn't have kill potential in Tree Batrider due to the Oracle. He doesn't have kill potential into Omni Knight TB because there's no. Sure, there's a stun from the Puck Coil, but there's a lot of armor on the Doom now, so you might not be able to really get through him.
No, he just has to play it the way we were talking about before, right? Where you have to be sniping out the Oracle to start the fights. That's your big priority, but it's a bit hard when the other kills around you are just dying.
From the lane. He's trying so hard to get something, but aggro's 2 waves and now gets killed, and also those creeps going to get denied away from him. Such a rough game for Batrider.
Hieroglyphs. A good use right there.
But now the Omni Knight's becoming the safe lane hero. TB's going to hit up the jungle, but Radiant have already prepared themselves with a deep jungle ward in the dire jungle top side, so potentially might be looking for some type of movement in that
just
jungle
doom him.
to punish the TB further.
Like they don't even, they'll start here. I was like looking at it, I was like, no, there's no way they don't dive this. With a Scorched Earth, 3 points in it, and the Doom, it's just an easy kill. The Dream Core rotation coming out from Pikachu. Maybe he gets a kill on Chu. I don't think you can get BZZ as well. You actually need to back away. The Scorched Earth hurts a lot. BZZ. He's looking for the big crit. One won't be enough though. Very far. Keeps him alive. Chappy. Oh, he's down still. I think this is the scary part about Doom, right? It's like once you find that Alpha Wolf, it doesn't matter what your support is. They've just become a fearful force as well because it's what 30%? No, 20% I think is damage amp. Then even a hero like Rubik
looking
is strong.
to take this top tower. Like you directly enable his support, and all you want to do, you don't care about something like you doom him, you get rid of him, you force Puck TP up, cool, whatever. But you reset, go again, and you want to take this tower as quick as possible. As soon as you take this tower, you can then punish the jungle, utilize that ward you have, and prevent this TB from just flash farming. Because that's all the TB does, right? His laning phase is kind of awkward if he doesn't have the right support, but then he flash farms the jungle.
And that means he just wants to be away from fire all times, puts more pressure further on Puck. We probably won't have this Batrider to assist. That means he's got measly net worth, 1,800 gold. And then look at the side of forwards, right? You've got this Razor that wants to play straight off the lanes. Mag that can empower his teammates. You've got the damage buff coming out from the Doom's Choice of Creep as well.
So many Razor games.
Yep, and most of them wins. So 19 teams, definitely comfortable.
Because you can see that they drafted it correctly, right? They saw the Omni Knight, they instantly snapped the Razor. It's like it has purpose in the draft, and they utilize the pick order. So I can see why they have a good win rate with it in terms of draft alone. Play, of course, a little bit different.
And here we go again. Chase in, but BZZ.
Try going for the cute play.
He has to run away. Dream Call onto him. He's going to go down.
On the Oracle,
Vanscore's going to die as well.
Vanscore opting to go for the under the tower pathing to try and get the ultimate off, but gets silenced by the Puck. Pretty good moves from the Puck there, and also very weird pathing from the Oracle, but
and it accelerates the farm of the Puck, and you can't even push it on the mid lane in the meantime because, well, Plantimos, he checks his farming routes, passes by. 19 Teen has moved across now as well.
Yeah, they're trying the hardest to try and get pressure on this top side of the jungle, but they're not really getting the kills necessary to take this top tower. And look at the net worth. TB slowly moving up.
And this could backfire on 19 Teen as well. He's a little bit too close to the sun, and they'll move forward.
And meta is up, but they don't have any stuns.
Problem.
Stuns are the bane of any draft. Oh,
speaking
Pikachu,
of CC, Pikachu discovers the Doom.
Doomed. He's trying to go for the low ground, high ground deny, but
Bignum will die as well. Backfires. At least your TV didn't die, but that wasn't exactly what you were looking for. You're looking to make the Pikachu Puck even more threatening at this stage in the game, not completely validated.
If anything, they're like, it's worth, guys. Our TB's farming. Their big spells are on cooldown.
The Alchemist effect, as we typically call it. It's like, oh, yeah, they got these kills, but TB's still hitting creeps. Question is, how long will we get away with that?
Up until the point where TB gets his Manta +1 item, that's the point where they're going to have to show something for the moves that they've made, so...
And then the question is, how many towers can forZe get by that point in the game?
They're just trying to get this TB to a point where he can get into this mid to late game.
Yeah.
If he gets the items, he is so hard to kill. Like, he could easily go for, let's say, like an SMY Satanic type build for the status resist to mitigate the potential RP combo or even a Doom, which I don't see lightly going on him because it should go on to either the Puck or the Omni, but still, I think some type of status resist build on TB could be cool, or even just Manta, BKB, Butterfly, Daedalus, these types of items where he gets to do insane amount of damage
Mhm.
That's it's going to be scary. Like this TB is extremely scary this game. So as long as Cyber Legacy keep moving around the map, sure they are dying awkwardly, but it's like these deaths are the big spells. They stop any true aggression from Radiant because as soon as you have Doom, you're a little bit hesitant to make a move. As soon as you have RP, Mag wants to farm. Like they are slightly reliant on these two spells due to it being their primary source of initial, like not team fight, I guess, because Doom is not really team fight. It's just kind of
Yeah, he's just looking for the pick off.
soft team fight, I guess, because obviously you remove a hero, but you don't prevent them from running, so it's not
Yeah,
really
you give a little bit
control.
when you
Yeah,
switch over to the blink stomp combo, right? Like that's when you're a nice little form of initiation.
yeah.
You're like a cheat, you're bootleg centaurs, I like to call it.
The better way of phrasing it is team fight would be obviously Doom and RP, and then control would obviously just be the RP. So
Hmm.
that's the better way of phrasing it.
Yeah, and one wonder is like you mentioned that stats resistance build for the TB. It might be that he even feels like he goes BKB because it's a huge power spike for TB, and you do have the Omni Knight with the Heavenly Grace, which you'll reach a stage in the game where you just keep on him all times, right? So he's unkillable.
Yeah, for sure. This is what Omni Knight does best.
Yeah, just have one hero, put your spell on them, wave at them, and say, "Don't worry, I'll keep you alive."
Ugh. It's just a support Omni Knight. It's so hard to support.
Hey,
Doesn't push
just
out
buy an A
lanes,
for lanes
doesn't
and stay in the tree line. Okay, that's what you do. Chappie didn't even reach the tree
Chappy
line.
buddy. I think he's fully subscribing to the idea of my TB will win me this game.
Yeah, he bought boosted travel. He doesn't really want to do anything but pull the map side to side at this point. They do have a blink now on the puck as well. So they've got that double power spike. They could arrive in the same location and look for a kill. They got the dream call. They will commit it. Metamorphosis.
Yep, there's the TB.
Snap the coil. Silence as well. The overgrowth to ensure they can't move away. And the dream call was key from Chu, but you can't do anything with it. Instead, Rubik might just die as well. Doom gets thrown out of Plantimos, and he's going to be bursted down pretty quickly here.
Oh.
Moving in. BZZ lassoed up under the tower. They're trying to protect him with the Fate's Edict. And he will chase deep on a Diorara, but there it is. They bring out the Guardian Angel, and all of a sudden, it's running for the high hills. Pikachu snipes the backline. BZZ is taking way too much damage here. Should still go down, but Pikachu, no, they turn on him. He might get the kill on BZZ, but it's so much heal coming out from the Devour regen. And Bignum, please, bro, let me go, he says. But I don't know if they want to. That link comes out. It does get snapped pretty quickly. Bignum is able to move away, and Pikachu just posturing against him. Now, with the Heavenly Grace on it, it's going to be a Heavenly Disgrace for 19 teams. He's going to be chased down, stabbed from behind. Fate's Edict to try and keep him alive, but maybe BZZ goes down because that's 5 stacks of sticky napalm and he's in a sticky situation. And now the RP on the side. Pikachu, he went a bridge too far. Lose your able to go to the back line and he's going to chase up forward as 19 teen does continue the pursuit with the living armor. Puck is healing a lot here. Has got the Waning Rift to try and escape. Blinks away just in time and has the double mobility, so they give up chasing.
Props to Pikachu. A couple style points for his mobility around that fight, but yeah, as soon as
It's his Oracle every
starts
time.
to fight, it's just Doom walks in, slaps down the Doom on top of the TB, and it's like, and now what? You're dead. Well,
Yeah, and that's a level 1 Doom still, right? That's the hilarious part. It's not like you can rely on the Doom to do the damage. It's just you're so squishy still on the TB, you can't even stand and fight.
yeah. But I think this is it's a showing of you can kill the TB right now due to how easy it was to doom him and how squishy he is. But I think forZe should feel a little bit scared right now, where it's like, okay, we did kill him, but it was so hard to kill his puck because we don't have a lot of stuns, and we only really killed the TB because we did get this kind of nice doom off. We need the blink dagger now as well, and it's like it was overall good to kill the TB, but you're still not really preventing his farm. Like, he's now got Manta complete. He's going to be escalating towards his next item, potentially the BKB.
Oh, and you just got Pupil's Gift as well.
Yeah. And it's like a fight that even though you get these kills, you use your spells, but don't get any advantage on the map, right? You didn't take a tower, you didn't do anything, and now you don't have these spells. So it means you now got an extra minute or two where TB continues to farm. You're not having any pressure on your towers, so...
And even though that was their move to make, like, forZe, they minimized casualties by the grace of Vanscore, right? If it wasn't for that Fate's Edict, so many of these heroes died to puck. And as this game goes on, the damage moves out of the magic damage department for Cyber Legacy and hard into that physical as the TB becomes more and more of a problem.
He's gonna be spooky.
Yes, up to 13 already. As I said, he just got the Pupil's Gift, so that'll make him tanky enough that maybe next time you do that sort of Doom play, if you don't do it with a level 2
Did you know,
Doom, you're in trouble.
fun fact, Dragon Scale works on illusions. So if you're trying to siege high ground, put the Dragon Scale on your illusions, and then you can burn the towers on repeat.
Yep, true.
Fun fact.
It also works with Batrider, right? It has an interaction with, was it Napalm? I think someone said something about napalm works with it.
I'm not even gonna try and back. I have no clue for that
I don't.
interaction.
Napalm sounds broken. Like there was some spell. I remember someone was telling me that the Bat Rider has some skill interactions with the Dragon Scales. It's definitely one of those items that we're just gonna see more and more weird, kind of clunky interactions discovered with as time goes on.
That is what happens when you introduce over 60 new items to the game, with some of them having.
And then remove several of them immediately, going, "These are stupid."
These are
Here's looking at
damn.
you, better version of Gem.
Oh, they were the good days. Now the Aghanim's turn. Oh,
Oh god.
you give it to a disruptor, and like at 12 minutes something, or whatever time it dropped, it was like, surprise! I have an Aghanims. It's
I
like,
think
ooh, okay.
one of the dumbest ones I saw was like it was a Wyvern with the neutral gem. Don't worry, this should be a casual death. Or will it? The RP coming onto 2. Oracle's already gone though, so you haven't got your save anymore. And Gibkey, he's a little bit too deep. Chappie's
Whoa.
moving across the haste room right now. He should be able to push him back to the last 2, and Palantimos will get the kill. Now on the side, can they actually find more is the question. 19T chasing in with the BKB, but it is this TB. And TB, no, he gets caught out by that stolen lasso, will be brought down in time. The buyback came out from the train, but can he do anything with it? 19 Team's BKB is running out, so Pikachu will have some vengeance, and it's going to be a team wipe as forZe. There was a moment there, but it comes down to this again, right? You have to commit so much on the TB in the second half of that fight that Pikachu's free to do whatever he wants.
Yeah, I think this the Doom you have to doom this puck at this point. The Omni Knight and Tree, both of the defensive supports, instantly die within the RP. So at that point, it unlocks your fight to be a little bit more free flowing, where there's not going to be this like continuous sustain throughout the fight. So the Doom, he needed to locate the puck, prevent him from like being around like mobile around the fight, and then maybe you can then sit on the TB. But again, the issue is you don't have enough reliable stuns to stop him from getting the Sunder off.
No,
So he feels pressured to use the Doom.
And you see the issues they're building now because Puck has gone for that Death Slayer, but it's like, okay, if I'm going to be left alone to do what I want because you guys are all eyes on the Terrorblade, this is going to go poorly for you. And we've also now just seen how exploitable forZe's draft is if you find that Oracle in the exact same location again. The Doom's going to come out, so Pikachu will definitely die for this. But it's another one of your big spells used. All of a sudden, as soon as Puck is up, he'll start running at you again.
But it's what can they achieve after this pickoff? They use Doom, they got the puck kill, tier 1 tower's already taken, so they're just going to continue to farm. But this plays into the die lineup because the TP is like, alright guys, I only died again because they're jumping me and I only have Manta right now. Like, of course I'm going to die because I have Manta. I need to have Manta plus maybe a BKB plus one more item, and then as soon as they jump us, I'm just going to put my meta, A-click, and then they're going to die. And if they doom me, my puck's going to have a free fight. So it's forZe have to pressure here and have to take objectives. If they continue fighting with minimal objectives taken after, the game will become very scary.
And this might be scary because it's going to be interesting to see if there's just going to be a trade. Because with Living Armor slowing this down, you could try and set up. I think Cyber Legacy, they're too out of position. They'll try and do the tier 2 trade ball.
Yeah. They will leave this tower. It'll just be for free. It's way too difficult to defend that tower, especially when you don't have heroes already there. It means you have to 1x1 TP. You don't even control the outpost. Yeah, it's nice little free tower for forZe. This is what they need. If they use a big ult, they need a tower. So I want to see them again be aggressive. Like, you don't have Doom up, but you've got the RP. Nice. Be confident.
And this is the thing, right? Like, you see how confident Pikachu is playing forward like that because you use the Doom. So the only thing he's worried about now again is the RP for a while, and that just frees up the Puck to be really cocky and up in their face. And Vanscore, oh no,
Yeah, for sure.
last one out.
Well, he went for the
casualty
defusal. Oh, that's a very active item.
No,
I kind of like that in this scenario. The
Vanscore already
damage from
gone.
this is very good.
They might find more. Chappie is hunting, but they just want Roche.
Like the thought process behind this is Cyber Legacy. They've got Coil and they've got Overgrowth. So yeah, they coil the Rubik right now. That's good. Potentially instantly a kill. Yeah, he's got the Deso.
We'll be able to run away. Speedy boy with the Scorched Earth, so we'll get out. I believe he has the Faded Brooch as well, which makes him hilariously fast. But that is Roche secured now for the side of Cyber Legacy.
So yeah, like I was saying, is you have control, but you don't have a lot of control for over the entire team fight, right? So within your limited control you have, you need to utilize it as much as possible. So TB going for defusal, you're against cores like Razor, Doom, Magnus. They don't have the biggest mana pool. So if you can eat through their mana during your small control you have, it doesn't matter if you don't have stuns. They don't have spells.
Yeah, they don't have the damage. And look how this is going to backfire right now. BKB just to run away. The Guardian Angel has been used in BCC. Yes, you throw out the Doom on a Pikachu, but you don't have the damage to pursue it. 19 teen with a false promise on him. Palantimos taking a lot of damage here. Needs to break away, and Pikachu will give his life for the cause. For the lift back, Palantimos needs to go for the swap. He doesn't have any more. It's not doing enough. He's still running. Gib, he is chasing on. Shockwave to drag him in, but there's a reflection slow, and Gib get killed off by a version of himself. And 19 T on the side, chased down by this pesky Batrider that was shut down so hard in lane. And Vanscore will be the last to fall for the side of forZe in the pit.
They got the Doom from the puck. It's what they needed. They got the Razor static link onto the TB, taking away 180 of his damage. They got, like, that was kind of what they wanted to do in most team fights, but they just lack that extra little bit of something to get them the kills. Like this Mag, you know, you've got to, when he commits to Roshan and uses the RP, he doesn't get kills. His RP has to be killing the Omni, killing the tree. These guys are supports. They're not the tankiest of heroes right now due to obviously supports. They're tanky when they use spells on each other. So I think the Mag got a little bit too of a loose cannon there, committing to Roshan, thinking maybe it was a little bit lower, and forcing the fight a little bit too quick there.
And we got a preview of what happens if you don't address this Omni Knight at the start of the fight, right? Like you mentioned, you got the Doom and the right target. You know, you're chasing, you're getting a lot of static link damage, you're taking away from the TB. But then you spend so much time on the Omni Knight in the second part of the fight where he's already thrown out all of his spells. He's had his maximum value. You've switched targets at the wrong point. You need to actually be dealing with him before you use the Guardian Angel, before you use the Heavenly Grace.
Yeah, for sure.
And
you look at him now. Oh, he's gonna go. He had Satanic queued up. He was like, I don't need it right now. So he's gonna go Scardy, just be even tankier, and it's such a TB game.
Yeah, I agree. You're in this situation where it really comes down to who jumps who first, who managed to find the Omni Knight, or who managed to find the Oracle. That flips you the advantage. But you can't. I think the difference here is that when you look at forZe, they can't use these big spells for it, right? Like you can't throw out a Doom or an RP onto the Omni Knight. If you do that, you've already put yourself at a huge disadvantage.
Yeah, you have to Doom the puck, and you have to RP, like ideally TB +1, right? You want to be killing a support next to the TB, but in reality, they should never be that position. So it's now going to become you Doom the puck, you RP off the Omni Knight, and then from there you have to then you have to hope your Rubik maybe steals a control spell, and then use that to then kill the rest of the heroes. I don't think you're going to be able to kill the TB in these fights due to the amount of work you have to do. So it's going to be like Razor has to just static link the TB and try and mitigate the damage. And then meanwhile, you've got all these other spells going off onto the puck and then the support. So forZe really have to approach every team fight with a really clear approach. If they miss even one of the Dooms or one of the static links, or like don't get that connection going, then they might struggle to try and commit to any of these engagements.
And the puck is going to get more scary. He just got up to level 20, is heading towards the Ags, one component off. You're going to get to this situation around the 30-35 minute mark where you're going to have a right-click puck that's a serious concern. And Chappie in the top lane will be jumped. Looks like he won't have an easy escape from this, as he will be brought down. A little bit of push on the bot lane, though, will immediately force forZe back towards their side of the map.
Name a more iconic duo, Chappie and Dying pushing out lanes.
With heroes that usually should escape, right? Like the Pucks we've seen the Batrider as well. Usually these heroes that somewhat get away with this. Poor guy.
I wasn't flipping this to a negative. I was just saying, you know, he's pushing out the lanes and dying.
Yeah. Oh no, yeah, I'm just saying, like I think it's partly the transition to the role, right? It's like getting used to this sort of role. It's a fine line when you play heroes like this. You have to be in the danger area of the map, and with teams being so quick to respond.
Well, he has adopted the sacrificial role pretty well, so...
Very much so. It's not the Chappie of old, where he wants all the gold and he wants all the attention. It's an interesting change. And a short retirement. I'm pretty sure he did announce, like, his retirement around ESL.
He's actually a pretty good player, like, mechanically, so
yes.
That retirement is, like, less of a retirement, but more of, like... a reflection, a way of being forced to play the relentless scrims and pubs and stuff, right? Like,
yeah, he got to Christmas.
That changes the person.
He was having all those kind of, you know, little Christmas events. He's like, God, this is just not the same. I need Dota back in my life. We've all been
exactly there. That. Oh, Razor, buddy.
Oh, they forced the Metamorphosis, though. We'll give him the Dream Call and snap, 19 teen. He didn't suspect that for a moment. Go for the TP away. Can they do enough damage? Yes, they can, because he fails the TP due to that overgrowth. Pikachu is already hunting for more. He wants to punish the Oracle as well.
Pop.
And the Rubik being brought down. Chappie managed to find Chew. Out pretty deep and alone.
Nice, Chappie.
And there's the other support dead as well. Pikachu, no bridge too far. They'll move across towards mid. They want to open this up and move towards the enemy base.
And this is the scariest part about any TB draft. You get 1 kill, you get 2 kill, you get 3 kills, and you're at their base with meta. What does that mean? I'm going to set this one up for you. What does it mean when you get kills on a TB outside their base? Whoop.
Buildings go smash. Goodbye.
There we go.
It's like, you know, it used to be rule number 1 of high ground defense. Do not let a loon on your high ground. But then Terrorblade came into the game and it's like, well, he's exactly the same class of hero. If he gets on your high ground, goodbye buildings. Goodbye 2 lanes by the looks of it, because still 30 seconds without the Rubik. They're not even scared. Why should they be?
This is honestly one of those games where if you the first pick Omni Knight, even though support Omni Knight's kind of kappa, and in reality this entire game has he done a lot?
Team baits
not so much,
right?
right?
Yeah.
But they force themselves down such a path with their draft because they're like, oh, it's Omni Knight's core, and then it's like, kapow, support Omni Knight, my TB's my win condition, get wrecked, and they're like, oh snap.
Yeah, they were like, we chose you, Razor. You meant to bring balance to the Force, and then like, oh wait, this is an Omni Knight support. This isn't doing anything.
I really wanted to see this Razor go middle and just accept the fact that you pick Razor early, just let him go mid, and you pick a carry that can actually scale into the game. You have no scaling. Sure, you have this Magnus that has damage, but you don't have a true carry. You have this Razor Mag Doom lineup. It's like,
but this is what we see all the time, right? Like whenever we see Mag, it's this type of hero that only feels good when you have a complementary element. When you see something like a Drow that benefits a lot from the Empower is a perfect example, right? And that uses it very easy. As in, like, you know, usually the way we see Mag when it wins is like it takes this more initiator role. It doesn't have to be this damage for the team. Someone else benefits as a side element, right? Like Bloodseekers, Drows, these type of heroes.
I totally was hearing you say that Magnus empowers the Drow and the Drow likes the Empower. I was like,
Well, like, she benefits from it because she's the damage builder that scales up, right? So eventually Mag's like, my role is not damage in this game. My role is just, I'm going to be a buffer and an initiator. In this game, you have to be damage.
I do damage, but you don't rely on my damage.
Exactly.
But
I'm like a bridge point.
Yeah, exactly. And then 19 teen, he's just this Razor. He's a walking ward at this point. Died same place 2 times in a row. You've got a TB and then the puck with the Deso. 60 seconds with your utility core, whatever you want to phrase it. It's not a hard carry. Like,
hey, you know, his stats looked good when we saw the comparison, but I guess stats do lie. It's the lesson. I think it's like you bait yourself so much. I mean, we've already highlighted it. It's like not having a true carry. It's like, this does seem like a great Razor game, but I think you're right. It just, you stick it mid, you make it your tempo carry type hero, and you're good.
If we look at all the games he's played, he's probably not played against a TB in any of them. I think TB's, it's such a off-pick hero right now, but when they do pick it, it's like, oh god, that's a TB.
Yeah,
like,
catches
against
you
a
by
TB,
surprise.
you want to have reliable stuns. Like, that's why Lion is such a good hero, for example, against it. You got multiple ways of stunning him, big burst damage. Shadow Shaman, again, decent hero. Like, these are the heroes you want. But when your supports are Rubik Oracle, like we've said so many times before, you don't have anything to truly lock him down, so he's always going to get Sunder off. And there's so many annoying heroes on Dire, it's so hard for a team fight. And Radiant just simply misplayed a couple team fights and tried committing a little bit too early, and maybe even didn't put enough pressure onto his TB, which meant he just free farmed. Like, it is so hard to stop these illusion heroes farming. Naga, PL, TB, even if they have a bad lane, they can resort to the jungle.
The bigger trap, right? As you said already, it's an off pick right now. We're used to these different heroes, and we've seen it time and time again with even the best of teams. You pick a hero that's out of meta, and people have adjusted to things like PL by now and Naga, but Terrorblade is a whole different beast. It's the
illusion beast that destroys your towers, and you have to think about it. It just exists within a team fight for way too long. It's like, it's not mobile, but it's, as I'll use the term elusive quite lightly, simply due to the fact he has Manta, obviously the illusions, and then the fact that you have to control him.
You have to be 100
life.
Yeah.
So he's elusive through his sustain of his ultimate.
Yeah, it requires a level of commitment and coordination that is higher than most heroes.
Well, of course. Like, I think if you ever look at a lineup in Dota, as soon as when you think of a hero and you have to talk about killing it in terms of multiple heroes layering anything, that's an annoying game to play. And then when you look at the likes of heroes of Omni Knight, Puck, Terrorblade, all three of these heroes, even though it's a support Omni Knight, they all have this way of you have to describe a pick off in such a detailed way. And then when you have such detailed definitions of how to kill a hero, and you have three of them, it's like, whoo, it's
Yeah, you just get
it's
boys, get the whiteboard out. We're gonna be here all night. We need to do some complicated little
so
diagrams.
we're gonna do a lefty right flank with the Baby Bop Doom, get the RP on the him and her, and then yeah, hope for the best. And
It's like, all right,
oh,
and
he
if the
sundered and we
RP
lost.
fails, we're gonna need you to doom 2 targets. And BZZ's like, I don't have a refresher, guys. I don't have that sort of money. I'm only on
But
my first few big items.
again, we have to respect the RP. We have to respect the Doom. They Doom the Puck and they RP these supports. Then they can roll over a fight. Still, I know the Razor is kind of weak, but he still can do his job of
They
remove
go
damage.
in. Oh
We'll
no, the
see
man
now.
applies enough time. BZZ! He can't even get off
Oh
in
no!
time. They have to protect him with the false promise. They change over to 19-team. The Guardian Angel would protect them. And Razor is dying in his own magic immunity. Can't do anything. Gibkey got trapped as well. With his BKB, he can't protect himself. The GG gets called, and Cyber Legacy take the series 2-1.
Yeah, that last fight kind of summed up, I think, where forZe were taking this. When your Doom's jumping into the pit trying to doom the Terrorblade, it's like that's not how you want to approach these fights. Even if you doom the Terrorblade, he
And
just
he's got
doesn't care
heavenly,
about you.
yeah, he's got the Heavenly Grace on him at that stage in the game. He will not die in that window. And I mean, the
And
worst part is like you feel bad about that because even
ooh,
if you kill him, he'll have buyback and he'll have the outpost to access, right? So it's like you use every shot in your gun at this TB.
it was their Hail Mary play though. We have to be
Exactly.
realistic here where if they defended high ground against an Aegis, they're just losing four. So they had to make a play there. They had to try and contest, but unfortunately, the TB so far ahead. This is the reason for the Manta purchase is it's such a good item where if you're against a Doom and you see him casting Doom on you, as soon as you Manta, it will cancel the animation. He has to redo it again. So it just allows him to pretty much prevent that instant Doom. And as soon as you get meta off against a Doom, you don't care that Doom comes in. You've got the tree behind you, you've got Omni behind you. You can sustain through it, and there's not enough damage on Radiant to even eat through this Doom TB. So yeah, it's I think a draft and play much better from Cyber Legacy this game, and yeah, improvements being made. But again, I want to make it clear a lot of inconsistencies between both of these teams in terms of their approach of finishing out their draft and also the execution within the game. Cyber Legacy, of course, the two games they won, they were able to punish draft mistakes from fours and also misplays made by fours in terms of the laning stage and moving into mid game. So it'll
Yeah,
be interesting to see how they might adapt a little bit against Hellraisers, which are known for their aggression and their relentlessness, and also I think much more confident drafting. I think Hellraisers are some of the best drafters out of all these teams in this qualifier right now. So Cyber Legacy are going to have to make sure they don't make any mistakes in the draft.
definitely. It's this whole tournament qualifier has been a story of fragility, right? When it comes to drafts, is which team gave themselves a backup plan, right? We see these drafts that come in the mid game, they can take control, but at the end of the day, you need to execute. You need to do it quite cleanly. Usually, it's the team that has a backup option, like their PL, the TB, and as you said, Hellraisers. They usually have those drafts that cover the mid game, but give themselves a fallback plan, and that has been the name of the game. And the name of the series next up is going to be Hellraisers versus Cyber Legacy. No rematch between forZe and Hellraisers, but there will at least be a short break before we get into the grand finals of the CIS qualifier.